morning, everybody. It's me again, Lynn the Leather Bag Lady, on this crazy cold Wednesday morning. I'm losing my mind. I had 2 bags to show you this morning, not just one. So I am playing catch up yet again. If I leave it until tomorrow, then chances are it's just not going to happen the way I need it to happen so that I can keep track of what's going on in my crazy mind. So today's bag is the bag I listed today. The earlier video was the bag I listed yesterday. So I'm not going to go over my daily beings and doings and comings and throwings and all that again. I do have something else I want to talk to you about, but I will show you today's fabulous bag. Now this is the second start of this video because the zipper on this beauty was giving me a little bit of a hard time, and I thought it was going to be a case of maybe I need to list something else, but I'm going to persevere because this bag is just absolutely gorgeous. I have moisturized it, so there are some little marks where this natural finished leather is just has different depths of color, different grains in its finish, and that's part of what I'm going to talk to you about after. But I love this Gucci-esque little chain detail and the zipper. So I just opened the zipper all the way to the end to show you how beautiful this bag by Glo-Belle, made in Hong Kong, is. Has a vinyl interior pocket, and then I went to close it up and it stalled, and I'm like, oh my goodness me. Then I widened it and it runs beautifully. So I am not mad enough at that to take it off my listings. I am just going to suggest one of 2 things. I loaded it up with stuff which naturally separated the edges and it flowed beautifully, or you just don't open it all the way, which you're going to open it all the way. As soon as you widen it, it closes beautifully. It just, I don't know what the issue is with just that little bit at the end, but you know what? I don't care. It's absolutely a gorgeous little clutch. I love clutches. They are apparently back in style. Now, slouchy clutches, I don't own any slouchy clutches. These natural leather items just sing to me. So it's about there where it all starts to go a little bit south. And then as soon as you line the zipper up, it's fine. So I'm going to list it. It's, I guess, oh, come on, you little dude. There you go. I just push down on the back end of the zipper and it's fine. So I feel that if you are going to buy this bag, it's almost like, you know, when your key, if you give your key to somebody who doesn't know your lock, can't open it, but you know exactly where to angle the key, or maybe the key's got a little bend in it or something like that. That's what this is. You just need to know your bag enough that you can make this work in a heartbeat. So that is today's item. But what that actually, you know what, I'm not going to get rid of it because I need it to help me talk about what I want to talk about. So I am still absolutely loving Tanner Leatherstein, the YouTube channel that I found recently. I am loving that he is dissecting brands that I have in my stock right now. So yesterday, I watched him disassemble an Echo bag, ECCO, of which I have one, which will be listed in my .com in the coming weeks. and Lido, Lido, which I have a little wristlet in my show stock. It's still in the bag from the last show that I did. What he basically does, if you haven't checked him out yet, he will dissect, say for example this bag, he will take all the stitching out of all the seams, he lays out all the pieces, all the hardware, the zippers, everything. He will then put acetone on the leather and scrape it. And what that tells you is the quality of the leather underneath. What he is trying to debunk is that just because you're paying $2,700 for a luxe brand that is so, the leather is so distorted because of the finishes that they put on top. So this bag, this little clutch here maybe has a light finish, nothing substantial. So I'm going to give you an example. This is actually perfect. So here we have a clutch from the 70s that has been, there is a little bit of finish on the leather, but you can see the different grains in the leather. You can see the different markings. And as he says, I mean, this animal could have been in fights. This animal could have, you know, scratched itself on a piece of barbed wire or whatever. All of those imperfections are going to be, should be visible. But that isn't what the brands want. They want a level of conformity. So this natural raw leather option doesn't work for them. So then you get to the Kate Spades of the world. This is a bag that I am refurbishing for my girlfriend. And I have cleaned this bag. I've sanded the corners because I wasn't sure I would get the color completely correct. So where the dark wear was in the corners, I've just used my 2000 grit sandpaper and I lightly removed the dark areas. Now I'm lucky enough that I was able to do it with that sandpaper, so there still is a little bit of corner wear, but the conformity of this leather, see how it's that heavy pebble? They don't want a situation where they're getting imperfections like this. They want conformity. So when you buy this bag in any Kate Spade store, it is going to look the same no matter what. So when he puts acetone on this leather, the amount of product that he uses his knife to scrape off is astounding, because it's not the leather that you're looking at, really. It's the plasticky, that's what Saffiano leather, that's what the Epi leather in Louis Vuitton is. It's a plastic acrylic finish on top of the leather. Now, I moisturized this bag 3 days ago, and the moisturizer is still sitting on top. The leather is no longer a breathable material. Anything that I've put on top of it, it is just, like, I'm going to have to wipe this bag down before I give it back to her, because I really wanted to moisturize it and have it looking its best, and it's just not taking the moisturizer. I will take this over this any day. And it's just, this gentleman is making me realize what it is I am passionate about. I love purses, but I love the slouchy, natural leather. Now there's another bag that I have here. This is a bag I picked up recently. And this is another example of that natural finish. Yes, this bag does have a sheen. It does have a coating of some sort. Because if it didn't, any type of rain, any type of splash, it would just destroy your bag. So you don't want a bag like that's kind of when I got my Louis Vuitton Alma brand new from the Louis Vuitton store, the handles, I mean, anything that touched those handles, that vachetta leather, it was just going to mark them and raindrop marks. You don't want that. We don't want something as raw and natural as that. But you still want it to look like leather. You still want it to feel like leather. Now, I've got a little bit of work to do, taking care of these corners, which is what I do. This kind of stuff doesn't scare me at all. This bag is by Matteo Mio, which is the brand. The gentleman's name is Edmund Salama, and it's a Canadian brand. This is kind of a man bag. But that is just what this new YouTuber that I'm following is helping me to establish. And it may be moving forward. I don't know. That I watch Dion Dean on YouTube, and she buys what she likes. And I've been guilty of that in the past. And it kind of cuts out a certain amount of buyers, because if they don't like what you like, then, fair enough. But I'm not into that, that processed, so these two brands, the Echo, which he actually uses for footwear for himself and has done for years, they own their own tannery, the Echo brand. So he was not surprised at all. He deconstructed this beautiful leather. It was like a huge bucket bag. It was yellow. It was gorgeous. And when he scraped off the finish, there was hardly any finish. And he just said the leather is amazing. And then what was the other one he did? The Lido. No, it was Lido. He deconstructed a backpack and he deconstructed a shoulder bag. And he said on camera that he did not know how this particular company was able to make the bag for the price that he estimated it was being made for and then selling it. I think he estimated the price at like $80 for the one, and they were selling it for $180. He's like, he said, it is an insane value. That's the word he used, an insane value. And I love the fact that he is showing us brands that we can go out and purchase. And I have them. And it's like, okay, I'm going to keep an eye out for that brand. I'm going to keep an eye out. I'd love for him to do a Roots bag. Would love for him to do a Roots bag. And there's certain Saddleback Leather Company. They sent him in this huge business bag. And he said it's the hardest bag he's ever had to deconstruct. And it was a great value. I researched their website. The story of origin was beautiful. I am just getting a real buzz out of not just selling bags for bags' sake. Not that I was doing that, because I am really passionate about the purses, but getting to know a little bit of the mechanics behind what makes a bag happen and looking at the components of the bag and looking at, a $180 Lido leather shoulder bag versus a $30,000 vintage Chanel bag. They have the same cardboard in between the top seams. They have the same, okay, so Chanel uses a lambskin, whereas Lido uses a top grain leather, and it's just amazing. I am so excited about it, and it will, I think, change how I purchase bags. Check him out, please do. He is just a breath of fresh air. He has only been doing this for 3 years. I do believe. He's Turkish, I think. He worked in a tannery himself. He is a leather bag maker. He has his own brand. So he's not coming from a place of ignorance in any way. But it is just so refreshing to see somebody who is not trying to elevate the luxe brands, not trying to trash them either. He's just giving you his findings, and he's doing that for equally affordable bags and those luxe brands that I own a few of them. And, yeah, I'm never going to get rid of them, but you won't see me buying anything new ever again. If I were to replace the Louis Vuitton bag that I sold a few years ago just because I needed to pay my bills, it will be a vintage Louis Vuitton. It will not be a new one. I'm finding that all of my reseller colleagues are starting to get very frustrated with the attitude towards these luxe brands. I mean, dupes are illegal. I know that. But, I guess if they were to recreate the bag, like he's got a Louis Vuitton men's briefcase, and he's called it the Frankenstein bag because he did what he thought what a $2,700 bag should look like on the back, and then he deconstructed it all and then put it back together with his work on the back and the original coated canvas, and tiny little bit, like just the straps were leather, the handles were leather. And when he looked at the quality of the leather, it was so poor. And that's what he's saying is underneath all these heavy finishes, the leather is not great quality. But how would you know? I mean, it's like having a home inspection. You can't look behind the walls, so you don't really know what you're getting. If you're buying the brand, of course, it is what it is. It's not necessarily quality, it's just brand identity. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. So go and have a lovely day on top of already my instruction to go and have a lovely day today. And I hope you're all having a good one. Take care, everybody. Bye.